Huge night in Chicago sports. The Cubs kick off a 4-game series against their hated rival, the Cardinals. Coming to you from Wrigley Field. We'll have the game for you at 7. Len and JD behind the mic, and we'll have a live preview coming up. You are looking live at Soldier Field. The Bears have their first preseason game tonight on the lakefront against the defending Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. We'll head to Soldier Field in just a bit to get you ready for that game. So with that, welcome to SportsNet Central, presented by Comcast Business. I am Pat Boyle. The Cubs bullpen takes a major hit. We'll have a live report from Clark and Addison on that. Plus, the White Sox hope to avoid another bullpen collapse as they wrap up their series in Kansas City. And we'll tell you when Derrick Rose will return to Chicago. And Jonathan Toews shows off his artistic side. It's all on SportsNet Central. Let's go.
To SportsNet Central, presented by Comcast Business.
And we start with an injury alert. Cubs reliever Pedro Strop will miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after he tore the meniscus in his left knee last night, sliding to pick up that grounder. Strop will have surgery tomorrow. Kelly Krull is at Wrigley Field with our Coors Light game report. Do the Cubs expect Strop back for the playoffs, and who will step up with Strop and Hector Rondon out right now? Kelly, what's the latest?
Well, Pat, as far as expecting Strop back by the playoffs, no one in the organization is going to guarantee that, but I think they are feeling optimistic that given the timeline, the extent of the injury, if all goes well with the surgery tomorrow and his rehab, they are optimistic that he would be back by the end of September, early October on the long side with that. But I found it interesting that Strop told us this afternoon, had it not been for Javier Baez coming over there after he slid and kind of grabbing him, stopping him from turning and making that throw to first, his doctor told him the injury could have been even worse. We're talking an ACL and MCL tear. So in a way, I think a number of the guys in that clubhouse are feeling fortunate that the injury isn't worse. But for Strop, he said it was a very scary moment and an emotional one.
It was a horrible feeling. I was almost even crying. Let me say that. To describe it right, I almost cried when I mean, just thinking that I might be out for the season. And I mean, this is like really a special group that I want to be part of in the playoff and a World Series if we get there.
It's never fun not having him around, but it could have been worse. We're going to get him back, and that's a good thing. So I haven't had a chance to speak with him yet. I knew he might have been hurt last night. You can never tell to what extent. It could have gone in any direction, obviously. So in some ways, we're lucky.
Well, this is exactly why the Cubs went out before the trade deadline, beefed up their bullpen. You can't ever have enough arms, according to Madden. In the meantime, Justin Grimm, recalled from AAA Iowa. He'll be an option for the Cubs skipper tonight, as well as Joe Smith, very tough against righties. Mike Montgomery, who the club is still hoping to stretch out a bit for the day-night doubleheader coming up against the Brewers. And while Grimm hates to be here under these circumstances, he does believe this is where he belongs, and he's ready for the responsibility.
Everybody wants to be here. Everybody believes that they belong here. And, you know, reality is whether you belong here or not, you got to take it like a man and just go to work. It's personally the way I feel about it. But, yeah, but like I said, just glad to be here. And I know what I can bring to this team personally. So just looking to do that and move forward.
And an update on Hector Rondon. He said he will throw a pin tomorrow, Pat, and said he could be back as early as Saturday. Certainly a boost for the Cubs bullpen if that happens. But as for tonight, his big job, he said, is encouraging Pedro Strop, trying to keep that smile that we have all come to love on Stropey's face, trying to keep that up tonight. Certainly encouragement. And the Cubs, let's talk about the big game, though, right? Against the Cardinals, it's crazy to have these guys come into town, and yet we haven't been talking much about the matchup, more about the situation in the bullpen. But let's go ahead and send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Kelly, that bullpen depth will be tested here in the coming weeks. Nice that you didn't have to battle a speaker tonight. We look forward to your reports throughout the game and afterwards. It's time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business, and we're looking at the Cubs starters' ERA at Wrigley this season. Tonight's starter, John Lester, he's at 1.99. That's impressive, but it's only third best on the team behind Kyle Hendricks and Jake Arrieta. Last night's outing lowered Jason Hamill's ERA at Clark and Addison to 1.99, matching Lester. And while John Lackey is in the 5-hole, very solid 2.67 ERA, Comcast Business, built for business. We travel 7 miles from Wrigley to Soldier Field for our Bears training camp coverage, presented by Apt Appliances, Electronics, and more. And the Bears' first preseason test is against the team that hoisted the Lombardi Trophy last February, the Broncos, and they are looking for Peyton Manning's successor. The Bears, they have plenty of questions. Well, we head now live to Soldier Field. Kip Lewis with a veteran move tonight. You can't wear the suit when it's in the 90s, Kip, but good to see that you dressed for the part. Are we going to see Alshon Jeffrey dress and play in this one?
Pat, it's hot out here. That's why I'm dressed like this. As far as Alshon Jeffrey, believe it or not, word is he may try and play in this game. He hasn't been out here so far on the field to practice. Of course, he's been sidelined with that hamstring injury, so we'll see if he does get on the field. Now, on the other side of the football, everyone's been sort of keeping their eye on the defense this offseason with all the changes they made. The starters expected to play about 1 quarter in this game. We'll also see Kevin White make his debut. Bottom line, though, all these guys just excited to finally play a game.
It's all about, that exam, and those exams are those preseason games, and you can't think of a better test than the defending world champs, Thursday night. Whether it's Kevin or anybody, I think, how we fare, although our first won't get a whole lot of time, it'll be good to see how that rust has come off so far.
We need to run the ball efficiently. We need to protect. Guys just need to do their job. And we're not asking them to do any more than that. Just line up, be where you're supposed to be. So if we just run the offense efficiently, we'll be okay.
Of course, a lot of people anxious to see this year's first-round pick, Leonard Floyd. People have been following the Bears. He's been getting some run with the first-unit defense the last few days in practice. The coach has really been raving about what he's been able to do. But bottom line is this is just going to be a fun time, I think, for this team, for the coaching staff, for the fans. Just so many changes on this team. Really over the entire offseason, a lot of people have talked about those inside linebackers, the impact they've had. So we'll get to see a lot of different players that Bears fans haven't seen, in previous years in a Bears uniform. So we're looking forward to it. Pat, that does it from here. I'm hot and sweaty, but I'm not in a suit, so I'm happy. Let's go back to you in the studio.
All right, Kip, stay hydrated. We don't want you cramping up. We look forward to your post-game coverage on the late edition of SportsNet Central. One of the best rivalries in baseball resumes at Clark and Addison tonight. It was a bit of a role reversal as the Cubs are the team running away with the Central. And I don't know, maybe it's a barbecue that doesn't agree with David Robertson and KC. The Sox closer struggles continued last night at the home of the world champs. We'll hear from the struggling Sox closer before we return.
Bears training camp coverage is presented by Apt Appliances, Electronics, and more. Pleasing people since 1936. SportsNet Central brought to you by Comcast Business. Comcast Business, built for business.
200 million watching history be made. 2 million making their own. 5 seconds gained. And a nomination won. When it counts, the biggest moments count on Comcast Business. With $5,000 of NBC coverage for the games. Over 900 miles of fiber laid for the Democratic National Convention. 40 pit stalls monitored at once for NASCAR. And 10 terabytes of data transferred for the big game at Levi's Stadium. We know what it takes to connect millions. Imagine what Comcast can do for your business.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, which saves money. They offer a claim-free discount because safe drivers cost less to insure, which saves money. They let you pay your bill electronically, which saves postage, which saves money. They settle claims quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And they offer home and auto insurance, so you can bundle your policies, which saves money. Esurance was born online and built to save. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
What you doing?
Just checking my free credit score at Credit Karma.
What the? You're welcome. I just helped you dodge a bullet.
But I was just checking my...
Shh. Don't you know that checking your credit score lowers it? Just be cool.
Actually, checking your credit score with Credit Karma doesn't affect it at all.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Huh, so I guess I could just check my credit score then. Oh.
Check out Credit Karma today. Credit Karma. Give yourself some credit.
Sorry about that.
It's Al Pavani Ford Summer Blowout. Right now, you can buy a Ford Focus for $100 down and only $169 a month. Or get 0% financing for 72 months and $1,000 cash back.
That was it. $100 down.
I paid $100 down and only $169 a month.
Get the car you want with over 1,000 cars to choose from and the lowest prices of the year. The Summer Blowout event going on now at the original Al Pavani Ford, 25th and North Avenue in Melrose Park.
We don't start stuff, but we will stop stuff.
Swung on, hit in the air, deep right field, get out the tape measure, long gone. Kyle Schwarber just hit one onto Sheffield Avenue. And the 0-2, swing and a miss, Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win. Breaking ball got him. The Cubs with a massive celebration right near home plate. The Cubs are in the National League Championship Series.
Cubs and Cards rivalry took a new and interesting twist last October when it was the Cubs ending the Redbirds season and advancing to that NLCS. You just heard Joe Mabb with probably his most measured soundbite to date as Cubs skipper. We don't start stuff, but we will stop stuff. Well, entering tonight's series, Joe likes the stuff this rivalry stands for.
There's no animosity. Don't take it wrong. It's just I think it's called respect. You know, a lot of respect from us to them, from me to them, based on a tremendous tradition that they've built up. And also, I think that, again, I've talked about that before, it should bring out the best in everybody, them and us. If you can't get up for playing these particular games, then just, you know, do something else.
With more on the Cardinals' perspective entering this big four-game series, Derek Gould of the St. Louis Dispatch joins us live from Wrigley. Derek, with the Cards trailing the Cubs by 12 in the division, do you get the sense talking to the players that they're reserved to the fact that they're playing for the wild card, or do they still think they have a chance at catching the Cubs?
I think they're realistic. They've been through a lot of these races, or at least the core group has, where they know what has to take place for them to be a factor in the division and how long the odds are. They're probably more focused just in how crumbled and irregular their game has been. They haven't really played cohesive or consistent baseball this season, so I think a lot of the focus in the Cardinals clubhouse has been about how the Cardinals have played and trying to get over themselves and the problems they've made for themselves than how far they have fallen behind in the division. So I think realistically they understand that the wild card is going to be their most likely route into the postseason, and it's going to take something unlikely, something statistically improbable for them to catch the Cubs.
Derek, tonight's starter Carlos Martinez leads the Cardinals in wins and ERA, but Martinez, he's given up 10 earned in his last 2 outings, and walks have been a bit of an issue in his last 5 starts. Any cause for concern with him?
Well, I think you look at a young guy who is edging up there towards certainly the innings and the starts and just definitely the regularity of his schedule that he hasn't seen before. Last year, they gave him some time off. This year, what they did was they just extended the break that he had around the All-Star break. So there is something about, hey, this is the deepest in the season and just kind of the August blahs that take hold of a pitcher. But overall, he's been really their ascendant pitcher. He's the guy who has grown and really matured and taken flight here this season over the other guys that they've had. I think he's been one of their more consistent pitchers, so I don't think there's overwhelming concern. There's just something to watch for, and maybe they keep their eyes on, you know, some of his stress innings, how many pitches he's throwing, and whether they need to maybe scale it back. They got a couple off days coming up here this week. It wouldn't be a surprise if they take advantage of that for him to give him that breather. But overall, I don't think there's anything alarming that, say, would spill into this game that they've seen over the last few.
Derek, Jason Hayward's exit from St. Louis, it was a bit bumpy. He gave some reasons why he left the team, thought they were an aging roster. It bothered Mike Matheny. Do you get the sense there are some folks within the Cardinals organization who are, I'll just say, somewhat pleased to see Hayward struggling at the dish this season?
I don't get that sense. No, not at all. I mean, they really liked him as an individual. They really liked him as a player enough to, bid rather highly on him. I mean, they offered him the largest contract that they have ever talked about with a position player, certainly a position player that they had. So they were fond of him. They were fond of his skill set, and they liked him as a player. I don't think those kind of comments kind of burrowed under their skin enough that they would be frustrated or that they would exult in his struggles this season. That does come with an asterisk. I'm sure they're all right if he continues to struggle against him or against them. That's kind of the answer you kind of get from them anytime you talk about a former player. They want to see them do well, just not when it comes to these kind of games where it's directly against the Cardinals. But overall, I think there's a general sense from the Cardinals, having spent that time with Hayward, that they would like for him to figure it out. They would like for him to become the player that he's capable of being, that obviously the Cubs invested in him being. They want to see that happen for him because they did get to know him as a person. So I don't think they delight in it. If anything, they maybe share some of his frustration that it hasn't worked out or that he hasn't been able to kind of unlock his swing, which they spent a lot of time working with him on last season too. So I know the Cubs have kind of isolated, or I know Cubs fans are probably isolated on what they've seen this season from him. But this goes back to last season where the Cardinals spent a lot of time trying to just figure out that swing so that it would get loose, so that it would get athletic, so that it would get productive.
Derek Gould of the St. Louis Dispatch, thanks for the knowledge and enjoy the series.
All right, thanks for having me.
Line drive center field. Come on. Can't get it. Ball game over.
Well, when you're struggling at the plate, the one pitch you can hit is down and in. And all he did was drop the head of the bat on the ball and hit it right back up the middle.
The Sox bullpen actually had two blown saves last night, Nate Jones and David Robertson. Robertson, the Southsiders closer, has failed to keep a lead twice this week and 4 times since he returned from a left leg injury back on July 19th. Then you factor in Robertson's price tag, and he's been one of the bigger disappointments for Robin's crew this season in a year filled with head shakers.
It's frustrating. The guys did a great job of coming back there and the 10th inning, I think, and then I came in and just screwed it all up. I mean, I really needed to get it done right there, and I didn't make enough good pitches. I left balls over the plate. I walked the leadoff guy. He's going to score. I'm frustrated with myself. More frustrated that I let the team down. They really needed this one. We all needed it, and I've got to be better.
Bears fans get their first chance to see Kevin White and Leonard Floyd in NFL action tonight. We'll hear from Chris Bowden and John Moon Mullen on what they're looking for tonight's dress rehearsal. Plus, the NBA regular season schedule came out within the last hour. Bulls fans won't have to wait long for Derrick Rose to return to the United Center. And we'll have Dwayne Wade's return to Miami for you to circle on that calendar.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
The old dorm, if these walls could talk.
Stop hammer time.
I think the wall is talking.
MC Hammer? He can't touch this.
And when you're hanging in the dorm, you shouldn't touch this or this. Here, use command hooks instead. Hold strong, damage-free. Just peel, stick, and ta-da! Then when school is out, stretch command hook off and ta-da, ta-da!
Legit.
Still legit.
Oh.
What's happening?
Command, do no harm.
Yeah, right. One thing I've come to realize, there's no easier way to save on motorcycle insurance than switching to Geico. Saving money, that's something every rider should do.
What is that?
It's called ceviche, Gary. I learned to make it when I lived in Tonga.
Tastes like chicken.
You should get out more.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Do you have too many bills but not enough money? Would you like one lower payment for all debt, little or no money down? I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Our Chapter 13 plans stop collections and creditors in one day for as low as $95 every 2 weeks. Get rid of bill collectors and high car payments. Get one lower payment today. Call or click now.
When you need to be debt-free, call 1-800-CALL-PFG. That's 1-800-CALL-PFG.
The NBA regular season schedule was released in the last hour plus. Here's some of the highlights for you. The Bulls tip off their season October 27th when they host the Celtics. 8 days later, Friday, November 3rd, Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, and the Knicks will invade the United Center. A week later, November 10th, Dwayne Wade returns to Miami. The Bulls will host the defending champion Cavaliers for the first time on December 2nd. The team will be in San Antonio for a Christmas Day matchup. And the Warriors' only visit to the West Side will be on March 2nd. John Fox of the Bears hosts the Broncos tonight with more on what to expect and look for in that first test. We send it live to Chris Bowden and John Moon Mullen. Gentlemen.
Pat, thanks very much. We've been waiting 8 months for this day. Finally, we have game action here against the defending world champs who won't have Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, Von Miller, or even DeMarcus Ware. We're wondering whether Alshon Jeffrey will play. We know this. He did come out in uniform for warm-ups here. And Moon, I would have to think if he does play, it's going to be a play or two, not push it too much. And guys have also gone back in the locker room and gotten in sweats, too.
Right. I think in this case with Alshon Jeffrey, the reality is he doesn't have to prove his ability. He does have to prove his durability. You know, his ability is on file. His missing games and so forth. I think he just needs, put in an appearance if nothing else, so he doesn't already start a season injured and not showing up for games.
Two guys with something to prove are Ryan Pace's first two number 1 overall draft picks, both top 10 picks. We know Kevin White's story, first game since December of 2014, while Leonard Floyd will look to make an impression here. And I'm really interested, Moon, to see even if those guys stay longer in the game, into the second and third quarter to get them some more reps.
Probably not past halftime and maybe not too deep, partly because Kevin White is a little rusty, reality. But you're right, Chris, those really are the guys I'm watching, along with Cody Whitehair. These are the young guys. That's the foundation of this franchise. Your draft choices have to be good.
Cody Whitehair, of course, the second-round pick. Let's talk a little bit about that offensive line because they cannot afford another injury right now when you look at the backups. And I guess that's what we have to look a little more closely here. Are there any legitimate guys who can keep Brian Hoyer safe in the second and third quarters?
I think you might see a lot of running. I think they're very concerned about pass protection once you get past the first stringers. We just saw Hronis Grasu go by, and it kind of speaks to, again, not so much that they lost him, but now they lost Ted Larson as a backup. So, keep an eye on Ted Larson. He's going to be the center this year, and that's an important position.
Many other storylines from running backs to the defensive backs. Oh, and the long snapper competition. Now we'll save that for another day. Alongside Moon Mullen, I'm Chris Bowden. Pat, let's send it back to you in the studio.
Hey, if John Moon Mullen can play hurt tonight, Alshon Jeffrey can take a few snaps. Thanks, boys. We'll talk to you later. Chicago fans are going to get a workout with the remote tonight. We got the Cubs and Cardinals coming your way at the top of the hour.
Your business needs a lot of speed, but getting it doesn't have to break the bank. Introducing the Comcast Business Summer Savings Event. Now you can get a lot for a little as a cup of coffee and donut a day. Fast internet speed to drive performance, plus cutting-edge Wi-Fi for your employees and customers, and voice mobility so your calls find you wherever you are. Get some of our most advanced products at a great price with over $500 in savings. Call today and ask how to get these savings plus a $250 prepaid card. Comcast Business, built for business.
Oh, Bob, I need to save on a new Nissan.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a dime.
Get to Arlington Nissan now and lease a new 2016 Sentra SB for $89 a month.
Be sure to see us before you buy, my dear.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman's Arlington Nissan, just east of Route 53 on Dundee Road.
Add a finishing touch with Rust-Oleum rock-solid garage floor coating kits from Menards. They're 20 times stronger than epoxy and available in 3 colors, just $99. Get unbeatable performance at an unbeatable price with Pittsburgh Ultra Advanced Stain from Menards. It's a stain and sealant in one, making it perfect for both new and previously stained wood. Save $6 a gallon. That's $30 on 5-gallon pails. Find this and more during Menards Made in the USA sale.
Save big money at Menards.
A message from the Sentinel Group. For decades, many Americans working in the trades were exposed to environmental hazards without their knowledge. While the dangers of one such airborne threat, asbestos, have long been known, efforts were made to hide the risks from the public. The result is thousands of cases of asbestos-induced mesothelioma each year. Those who worked in these trades and who were exposed to asbestos have been harmed by hundreds of companies who produced asbestos-laden products. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available. Then call us. The U.S. Bankruptcy Court has established asbestos trusts with over $30 billion in assets and more than 500,000 claims filed. Act now, don't wait. Call the number on your screen now and learn about your rights to compensation. Call right now.
Please call 800-524-3027. That is 800-524-3027.
We head to Rio for some Olympic flavor. First time in 112 years, golf is part of the Summer Games, and Great Britain's Justin Rose making history. His caddy told him to go with a 7-iron. He wanted to go with the 8. Always listen to the caddy. From a $1.89, he cards the first ace in Olympic history. He trails Aussie Marcus Fraser, who shot an 8-under 63. U.S. off to a rough start. Kuchar, the only one in red numbers, 6 shots off the pace. Finally tonight, Jonathan Toews has had to find a lot of things to do to fill up his extra long summer. We've seen the captain try hot yoga, Pilates, cliff diving. He's been tweeting a lot, which is kind of weird. And now in the latest commercial from Canadian Tire, Toews shows his artistic side.
A lot of people are surprised that Jonathan Toews paints. But hockey's an art, so wipe that look off your face. The saturation is reminiscent of the 16th century Dutch masters. Of course, I'm not Dutch. The geometric configurations speak, I believe, eloquently to the existential struggle we all feel as hockey artisans. Picasso is known for his blue period. My style is best described as somewhere between the second and third period. Let's call it the intermission period.
I like the intermission period. We'll see Toews and 10 of his teammates at the World Cup next month. Thanks for watching SportsNet Central, presented by Comcast Business. Up next, it's Bases Loaded with Layla Rahimi.
Go inside the lives of Chicago's biggest sports stars, only on Inside Look, presented by Cadillac. Your questions answered.
In this business, you want to compete for championships.
Idols revisited.
They've supported this organization for so many years.
And the stories behind the headlines revealed.
It's a special journey and it's a great story.
Catch a new interview every month with Inside Look on Comcast SportsNet. Visit csnchicago.com for listings.
Everything you know about TVs has changed. The breakthrough technology found in LG's new 4K OLED TVs produces bolder colors and more intense blacks to create a picture so vivid it defies description. Combined with a sleek, ultra-thin design, they're nothing like you've ever seen. Come experience this revolution in television technology at Apt Electronics. Guaranteed low prices, great selection, and free local delivery. Apt. Pleasing people since 1936.
Swinging out to Vegas for the weekend. Roll, just roll those dice. Jet set, babe, put jet set guys and dolls. Jet set on a swinging night in the town.
Let's go! 200 million watching history be made. 2 million making their own. 5 seconds gained, and a nomination won. When it counts, the biggest moments count on Comcast Business, with $5,000 of NBC coverage for the games, over 900 miles of fiber laid for the Democratic National Convention, 40 pit stalls monitored at once for NASCAR, and 10 terabytes of data transferred for the big game at Levi's Stadium. We know what it takes to connect millions. Imagine what Comcast can do for your business.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy?
Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor. Available at O'Reilly Auto, Home Depot, Pep Boys, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
Bases Loaded. I'm Layla Rahimi, and this is our half-hour show as we lead you up to first pitch between the Cardinals and the Cubs. Thank you again for joining me as we serve up 30 minutes of nothing but baseball with special guest interviews from Wrigley and our experts debate important topics for both the Cubs and the White Sox. So let's get it started as we head out to the north side. We go live to Wrigley Field, and that is where we find our announcers for tonight's game, Lynn Casper and Jim DeShays. And guys, we have no shortage of impressive Cubs to discuss during this 9-game win streak. But last night, there was some definite bullpen appreciation. How about the outing by Carl Edwards Jr. last night, facing the Angels' heart of the order in the 8th and mowing them down with that 1-2-3 inning?
Layla, it was very impressive. Unfortunately, it came out of a need because Pedro Strop suffered the left knee injury, but he didn't back down, did he?
I loved his comments in the paper today. When asked about facing Trout and Pujols, Carl said, well, I just pulled the hat down further over my eyes so I couldn't see their faces. So he just tried to approach them like any other hitters, and obviously they're not any other hitters. They're a bona fide Hall of Famer and the guy who was currently the best player in the game. But that's important because with Strop down now, with knee surgery coming tomorrow, it's going to elevate the role for Carl Edwards Jr. going forward. Joe Smith likewise, and Justin Grimm, important for him to return to form from what we saw last year.
Yeah, guys, certainly unfortunate news regarding Strop. We'll have a little more on that coming up in the program, and you guys, of course, on the broadcast. Now, John Lester on the hill for the Cubs, and the team has won each of his last 4 starts. He is 3-0, a 2.55 ERA over that span. What are you guys' thoughts on the left-hander and the success he's had?
I mean, you're the pitcher, you're the left-hander, but for me, it's just about making pitches. John's the pitch maker on this staff, and for the most part this year, other than that little short stretch before the break, that's what he's done.
Yeah, he's just very strong-willed when he pitches. You see sometimes he'll get into a little confrontation with the umpire. Not quite like John Lackey, but you'll still see it from John. He makes a commitment not to throw the ball over the heart of the plate. He's always banging away at that outside corner, keeps the ball down around the knees. I love to watch him pitch. He's just such a grinder. So tough-minded when he's out there. He's been absolutely locked in here at Wrigley. He's won his last 5 starts here with an ERA of about $1.50. The question tonight is, and it's not just for John, it would be for any pitcher, is how deep can you go on a hot, humid night like tonight?
And the wind, by the way, Layla, blowing straight out to center field. So it could be one of those nights.
I mean, I'm going to look forward to your calls either way, guys. But, yeah, I saw that we haven't had the wind blow out, so that's going to be interesting. And that's not the only thing different. Rewind now to the last time the Cubs saw the Cardinals. What a change that's been. The last time these two teams met, St. Louis swept them. What kind of series are you guys expecting to see over really the next several days? And you did give a weather preview, so we know that might be coming at least tonight.
Well, that was in mid-June, and interestingly enough, the Cardinals came in 12.5 games out. So even though they swept the Cubs, they left 9.5 out. They come in this time 12 games back.
Yeah, this is, I guess, you could term it a last stand for the Cardinals if they contemplate even having a chance of making a run at the Cubs. But realistically, they're talking about the wild card. The big difference between this year's Cardinals and last year's has been the pitching and mostly the starting pitching. The starting pitching led the way for the Cardinals last year. It's been just kind of so-so this year. They've had some injury problems, but performance has not been there. But what do we expect? Well, it's Cubs-Cardinals. It's a hot summer weekend in Chicago. We expect some fun baseball.
Well, I'm looking forward to it very much. Len and JD, thank you. I look forward to both the weather calls and the other calls, hopefully tonight at the top of the hour. You stay cool, and we'll hope the bats stay hot.
Wait a minute, Layla, did you see my air conditioner over here?
I did not see your air conditioner.
Yeah, see, it's a cup of ice water in front of a big fan. That's a redneck air conditioner.
Hey, listen.
It's dropped the temperature about 0.04 degrees in here.
I think any little bit helps. And additionally, I am very familiar with the ice cube in front of the fan. Just see if the Iceman can get you one of those bigger cubes. You guys could use that, right? I feel like that could work.
Whew. It's hot.
My thoughts are with you. I know that humidity is not fun, but you guys, I'm sure, will take it for the team and have a great night either way. Somebody get those guys some more ice, please. We'll put the call out. Guys, thank you so much. Let's take a closer look at the state of the Cubs, and no matter which way you look, it's pretty good. Since losing 2 at U.S. Cellular Field, the Cubs are 12-1 over the last 13 games, including that season-high 9-game winning streak. They're averaging over 5 runs a game while compiling an impressive team RA of 165. And the saying is, you go, we go. And during the Cubs' 9-game winning streak, Dexter Fowler has been going strong at the top. Dex is batting .343 with a home run and 5 RBIs, and he is scoring about a run per game while setting the table for the hitters behind him. During the 9-gamer, the Cubs' starting pitching has been unreal. They are 7-0 with 8 quality starters. The only blemish there was that spot start that Brian Mattis made on July 31st. And the starting ERA over that 9-game span is still 188, with opponents batting a paltry 195. And how about this historical nugget of note? The Cubs have started August 8-0. And that is the first time the Cubs have begun a calendar month with 8 straight wins since August of 1927. We all remember that one, right? The Cubs' best August start ever was 9-0. That was back in 1908. Of course, the last time the team won the World Series. At 71-41, the Cubs are now a season-high 30 games above 500 and on pace to win 103 games. With a 12-game lead over the Cardinals, Cubs manager Joe Maddon pretty happy with the way his squad is playing in every aspect of this game.
From a baseball purist perspective, we're playing baseball well. You're getting great starting pitching, you're getting timely hitting, and extraordinary defense. So that's pretty much a nice formula to win at any level, any year. Our guys are coming out ready. Nobody's taking anything for granted. We're going day by day. Loving all that.
Let's welcome in our Cubs pre and post hosts, Cap and Holly. Guys, as the postseason approaches, which National League team will be the Cubs' biggest hurdle to making the World Series? The Cardinals, the Mets, the Nationals, or the Giants, and maybe even the Dodgers? Holly, your thoughts first. You are the defending champion.
All right, I'm going to go with the Nationals. This is a team that's pretty well put together. You think what they did at the trade deadline, they went out and got themselves a closer in Mark Melancon. Listen, Bryce Harper, he's the reigning National League MVP. He's not even the National League MVP. He's not even the MVP on his own team. Daniel Murphy is, for crying out loud. You've got Strasburg, you've got Scherzer, you've got a talented top of your rotation, you've got a good bullpen, and you got one of the best lineups in baseball. They score runs regularly. Their record's right there with the Cubs. Even though the Cubs have taken it to them during the season, this is a well-put-together team led by Dusty Baker. They're pretty strong.
Holly, no, you're buying into the hype of the Nationals, who have won nothing despite a really talented roster. I will go with the San Francisco Giants, who have 3 championships in 6 years. They've got elite starting pitching. They've got a guy in Madison Bumgarner who is an absolute stud. And they got one of the top 3 or 4 managers in the game in Bruce Bochy. I will go with the Giants because pitching and defense win, and they have that, my friend.
Okay. I think you guys both make very compelling arguments. Holly, I do think the Nationals win the East. But Cap, I have to side with you, but you forgot the biggest part of your argument. Hashtag, it's an even year, and we all know how the Giants do whenever those happen. I can't believe I'm saying this. I vote Cap. Guys, thank you for making your case on Bases Loaded. And we are just getting started on Bases Loaded. On deck, it is Hamill time. Jason Hamill is on the show to talk about the career year he's having, especially in the second half of the season. Is it the potato chips? Plus, we've got a health update on Pedro Strup's knee injury as we find out how severe the situation is for the reliever. And who is the bigger story down the stretch for the White Sox? Chris Sale in search of a Cy Young, or the growth of Tim Anderson? Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton are here to battle it out as we take a live look at Clark and Addison, where the Cubs and the Cardinals are just over 25 minutes away from renewing their heated rivalry. And as you heard Lynn and JD say, emphasis on heated. Much more on Bases Loaded coming up.
Window siding and door installation, 102 Pine Street.
Let's go, guys.
It's Feldco to the rescue with $1 installation on all windows, siding, and doors. Plus no money down and no interest until 2018. It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year.
That's $1.
$1 installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Hurry, $1 installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
It starts with the low Fields price, and then we include all of the Fields amenities at no extra charge.
I'm not overpaying for my vehicles. I'm getting great customer service and great amenities at Fields.
A low price and a whole lot more, like our Fields amenities that include free loaners, free car washes, and our Fields cafes.
It's not about the word free, it's the way they deliver it and what they deliver.
We simply treat people the way we want to be treated. It's a commitment to our customers we made long ago. Fields matters because you matter.
What if an insurance company wasn't only there when things went wrong? Because for every tornado, there's a twister. For every crash, an even bigger collision. And for every tailspin, well, tailspins. State Farm understands that getting the most out of life doesn't just mean being there when things go wrong. It's about being here in all of life's moments when things go perfectly right.
Midwestern rivals meet again as Matheny's Cardinals meet Madden's Cubs in a fight to the finish. Cubs, Cardinals, tonight at 7 on CSN. Visit CSNChicago.com for great deals on your favorite team's merchandise. From jerseys and hats to customized shirts and more, get the latest trends for the Bears, Blackhawks, Bulls, Cubs, and Sox at the shop on CSNChicago.com.
I am so excited to announce that it is Hamill time on Bases Loaded. Jason Hamill joining me from Wrigley Field, and I think we have to talk about your shirt first. You're making quite the campaign statement here, Jason.
I don't know if you guys want me as president, but if you really do want to follow me, go check out the YouTube. Hit on me, just look up Jason Hamill and, Hamill for president. You'll love it. I had fun with it. I feel like I could make some friends in the public eye. I don't know if I can handle all the world problems, but I'd give it my best shot.
I think you're handling enough on your own right now. Jason, you won your 5th straight start after beating the Angels, and you've had some great post-game comments this year. But I really like last night the comment that you made. I think it told a lot about where you are, and then also you were talking about the team. You said it's silly to watch the guys, how consistent they are. You know something good is going to happen. And I know you were talking about the team, but I think it says a lot about your attitude right now as well.
I think I started that whole statement with, I've never been on a team this good, and I really do feel that way. It really is pretty easy and comfortable just to sit back in our dugout and just wait for it to happen, because somebody does something special every night, and it's on a consistent basis. We've had the great pitching, the defense, and then we've had the timely hitting, and that's the backbone, that's the recipe for success when you're trying to win a championship.
In years before this one, your performance after the All-Star break hadn't been as strong, as much as even like a 2 ERA difference, but this year certainly different for you. We've seen it already. What do you think is the difference for you as to how you've used this time and really succeeded this year so far after the break?
I really haven't changed too much in season. I really do feel like the changes came this off season. I focused a little on a little different stuff with my workouts, incorporating more lower half, just for endurance. I'm pretty close to what they call a max effort pitcher, where I'm not really trying to feel it out. I'm throwing everything, not to say as hard as I can, but I need to feel like I'm putting forth 100% energy to feel like I'm going to make the pitch. So I needed to be stronger from the ground up. So I think the lower half workouts that I added in the offseason have allowed me to be stronger, and it's made my delivery stronger. And then just a little different thought process. Not beating myself up so much when I do have a bad one, and just kind of move forward. That's all you can do. Just try and be as good as you can every day, and the results are the results. So I was very, very hard on myself in the past, and I learned some stuff about my individual, obviously, mental state this offseason, and I really tried to address that, and so far so good.
It's so much easier said than done, and you should be applauded for that for sure. You know, you're also a Renaissance man of many musical interests. You made Fitness Magazine recently talking about the potato chip prescription, and even on your Twitter bio it says you are a Lego enthusiast. For me, this is an interviewer's dream, so I'm going to let you pick first. Tell me which topic you want to discuss. Legos, Pearl Jam, working on your guitar skills, or chips. Go.
You threw out the retired mascot.
Yes, that too. Okay, tell me about being a retired mascot if you want.
Then people are going to start looking it up.
I looked it up, and I had trouble finding it. This is buried. So
yeah, exactly.
You have to decide whether or not you want to bring it up.
Well, I'm so old that they don't even have footage of that. So that's what works in my favor. I don't have to. There's no footage of me actually being in the suit. So there's no incriminating evidence that make me look bad. I had fun with it in college. That was it. You get paid $10, as we all know. College is not cheap, so any extra cash flow you can get to shove a sandwich down your throat, you do what you got to do. Yeah, I mean, I could touch on them all. Legos, I've been playing with Legos since I was in the womb. I for whatever reason, it's fun. My imagination would soar with them. My son loves them now too, so I'm living another life through him. Obviously, Pearl Jam is in my blood. I'm a Seattleite by nature, and they will always be with me. I've been very blessed to meet Eddie a few times and build a relationship with him. He's probably the most genuine human being I've ever met on the face of the planet. Doing a lot of fun things. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fun to see, of course, and the fact that you share that is great. To have such high praise for Eddie Vedder, they play at Wrigley Field, Pearl Jam. Is that a situation where it's happening, but you also have a job to do and you can't often be there?
Yeah, I might go MIA for 24 hours. As long as I don't get in trouble. I'll have to talk to Theo and Jed about that. But, yeah, what a bummer. That's got to be, you have to expect an awesome show just because it's Eddie and Pearl Jam at Wrigley, which is, obviously it's Eddie's favorite club. And he's going to come here to blow it out. So I'll be listening, and I'll have that bootleg as soon as it's available.
I hate to use this comparison, but it really does come to mind. You're such a Lego fan, and everybody always talks about the Lego movie and the song Everything is Awesome. You're kind of riding an Everything is Awesome wave right now. What do you think?
I never thought of it that way. That's kind of funny. Like I said, I'm just trying to come out and be my best every day, try and be a good presence, be a good teammate, and just have fun. And that's all we're all trying to do, is just have some fun, do our jobs, and obviously help this city stop the bleeding, I guess is the way I could put it.
Well, it's certainly been fun to watch. Jason, your outings have been fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to your next Lego project. Hamill time was awesome. Jason Hamill, thank you so much for all you bring to the table and joining me on Bases Loaded.
Thank you very much.
Here is the Cubs lineup against the Cardinals tonight. One key note for Joe Maddon's squad. Chris Coughlin is starting for the first time since August 2nd. He will bat seventh and be in left field. It has been tough sledding for the White Sox over their last 13 games. The team is 4-9 over that span, scoring just 3.5 runs a game. One positive. 15 home runs for the Sox in their last 13 games. Several of those long balls have come courtesy of Jose Abreu, who continues to heat up in the month of August. The power stroke has returned. Abreu is batting .412 with 3 home runs and 5 runs batted in, and his OPS 1,195. Wow. And how about Jose Quintana getting some recent attention in the Cy Young discussion? The Sox All-Star lefty has been lights out over his last 7 starts, 4-0 with a 2.11 ERA. Opponents are batting just .203 against Quintana, and Jose has hurled 8 straight quality starts overall. And don't look now that Justin Morneau may have revived his career and become a valuable piece for the Southsiders going forward. Morneau is batting .289 with 3 home runs in 21 games since joining the team. In his last 10 games, he's batting nearly .330. So down the stretch, what storylines will you be watching with the White Sox? 2 pretty intriguing guys are Chris Sale and Tim Anderson, both for very different reasons. Time to welcome in our White Sox pre- and post-game crew, Chuck and Bill. Guys, time to make your case as the White Sox play out the rest of the season. What are you more interested in watching? Chris Sale making a run at the Cy Young or the continued progress of Tim Anderson? Belton, Bill, you're up first.
Well, I'm going to start with Tim Anderson. This is a young man. We haven't had a shortstop since Ramirez, and the way he's played, I'm just kind of anxious to see if he could carry out the last couple of months of the season, to see how legit he really is. I think he'll get better and better. Right now, I think with experience, he'll start taking more walks, probably learn to bunt. I think that's coming around in September. He's got all the tools in the world. You know, myself with Chris Sale, I see him so much that, you know, he's right there at the top for the Cy Young, but I'm more interested in watching the development, I think, of Anderson.
Well, I really want to watch more of Bill Melton talk about the White Sox. That's number one.
Good choice.
Number 2 would be Chris Sale for me, because he's come so close to winning the Cy Young. I think it's 5 years now running. He has gone a month without getting a victory, but he's pitching so great. Tim Anderson, we're going to be seeing him for a long time. I'm looking forward to seeing him. But the notoriety, the achievement that he's deserving of getting is Chris Sale getting that Cy Young award. I want to see him pitch well into this season and get a Cy Young award, and I would love to see him on the White Sox for many, many years to come. We'll see what happens in the offseason, but Cy Sale, that is what I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay, guys, I like both of your arguments because they're really good things. But I got to say, to have a shortstop locked up long term, that is a priceless advantage. We know what Sale can do. We've seen it day in and day out. These are the luxurious problems we get to talk about. So I got to go with Bill. Guys, thank you both.
Thank you very much. You got a good baseball mind because you're right. We've seen a lot of Chris Sale, and we haven't seen enough of Tim Anderson. I want to see growth.
I mean, I have to go with Bill more often if he's going to say I have a good baseball.
I'm leaving. I'm going to leave the set.
Unbelievable. Well,
no, stick around and see if you can make the sale.
That's your next key to the game. Your next key to the game should be that. Make the sale. Oh, you've probably done that before, actually.
Actually, I have.
Yeah.
I look forward to the thrilling conclusion of when Chuck leaves the set and Bill leaves the set and what happens next. Guys, thanks for making your case with me on Bases Loaded.
No problem.
In case you missed out, how cool is this? Like father, like son, Todd Frazier posting this video of his son to Twitter saying, "My boy taking some hacks. I need to take some notes." Laugh out loud, and do you see he's batting left-handed? Hashtag Blake Bombs, hashtag 2 years old, hashtag try out soon. That's pretty good stuff. Now all we got to do is wait for 16 years. We are getting you ready for the Cubs and Cardinals on Bases Loaded. And up next, we get the update on Pedro Strop from our Kelly Krull, who has the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Have a look around.
Thank you.
Got me looking so crazy right now, your love's got me looking so crazy right now. Looking so crazy in love, got me looking so crazy in love.
So you like it?
I do. Now is the moment to get the Honda Accord you love. Named a Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record 30 times at the Honda Summer Clearance Event, going on now.
Hey, how's it going? Hotcakes? Hotcakes.
This place has hotcakes.
Hotcakes.
So why aren't they selling like hotcakes? With Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi Pro, they could be. Just add a customized message to your Wi-Fi Pro splash page, and you'll reach your customers where their eyes are already, on their devices. Order up. It's more than just Wi-Fi. It can help grow your business. You don't see that every day.
Introducing Wi-Fi Pro. Wi-Fi that helps grow your business. Comcast Business. Built for business.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat
in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Fantasy football's right around the corner. Commissioners, are you looking for a place to host your fantasy football draft party? Then come to Tilt Kilt Schaumburg, the hottest sports bar that provides you a draft kit, free Wi-Fi, and your very own Kilt Girl assistant. Doesn't get any better than that. Book your party today.
A message from the Sentinel Group. For decades, many Americans working in the trades were exposed to environmental hazards without their knowledge. While the dangers of one such airborne threat, asbestos, have long been known, efforts were made to hide the risks from the public. The result is thousands of cases of asbestos-induced mesothelioma each year. Act now, don't wait. Call right now.
Please call 800-404-5090.
Fantasy football's right around the corner. Commissioners, are you looking for a place to host your fantasy football draft party? Then come to Tilt Kilt Schaumburg, the hottest sports bar that provides you a draft kit, free Wi-Fi, and your very own Kilt Girl assistant. Doesn't get any better than that. Book your party today.
And we are back on bases loaded. Tommy LaStella still on the inactive list for the Cubs. He is still not reported to Iowa after being demoted from the big league roster. And for more Cubs news from inside the clubhouse, we bring in our Kelly Crow.
Thanks a lot, Layla. Well, the big news from the Cubs clubhouse this afternoon, Pedro Strop will be out for at least the next 4 to 6 weeks with a torn left meniscus after that awkward fielding play in the 8th inning. But given that timeline, the club is optimistic that if all goes well with his surgery tomorrow, that he could be back in time for the playoffs. I found it interesting that Strop said his doctor told him, had Javier Baez not come over to stop him from turning to make the throw to first last night, that the injury could have been even worse. We're talking an ACL tear possibly on top of the MCL. So I think this club is feeling fortunate that the injury wasn't any worse. And in the meantime, Justin Grimm recalled from AAA Iowa. He'll be here for Madden as well as Joe Smith, expecting to see a little more time, and Mike Montgomery. And Hector Rondon told us he will throw a bullpen session tomorrow, is hoping to be back as early as Saturday, and that would certainly be a boost for the bullpen, who is going to be tested this weekend. That'll do it from here from the north side. Of course, the Cubs and Cardinals getting underway this evening, a 4-game set here at Wrigley.
Wow, that's really interesting stuff, Kelly. Thank you. John Lester back on the bump tonight on CSN. He's right up there with the best of them in 5+ innings, pitched outings with 1 run or less allowed, one shy of Toronto Blue Jay Hatt's 13. Thanks for watching Bases Loaded here on Comcast Sportsnet. Cardinals and Cubs come your way next. Cubs postgame live.
Swinging out to Vegas for the weekend. Roll, just roll those dice. Jet set, babe, with jet set guys and dolls. Jet set on a swinging night in the town. Let's roll.
Hey, you know what makes my Aries reclining sofa and reclining love seat such an untouchable value? You get 1, 2, 3, 4 recliners. Both pieces only $9.99. Or power them all up and recline with the touch of a button. Both pieces only $11.99. Only at My Bob's Discount Furniture.
This is untouchable. Right, I'm so relaxed right now. You look divine. I can't want to leave the house out. I want to leave. Hey, ladies, what are you doing for lunch?
Our mountains challenge us. Push us back. Knock us down. Tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on.
With a curved ultra-high-definition screen, Samsung's SUHD TVs give you a brighter picture and the most brilliant colors for the best viewing experience. It's Samsung's best TV, and it's here at Apt Electronics, available in screen sizes from 48 to 88 inches. Come see it today. Guaranteed low prices, unbeatable selection, and free local delivery. Apt. pleasing people since 1936.
To thrive in an ever-changing environment, companies must adapt. But one thing should remain constant: a financial relationship with someone that understands and cares about your business. PNC Corporate and Institutional Banking offers strategies tailored to your company's needs. Know that our dedicated teams of local experts offer insight to help you achieve your business objectives. See how working with PNC can help your company grow at pnc.com/ideas.
Cubs and Cards meet again on CSN. And for over a century, these two teams have been battling it out. The Cubs have the division lead this year, but the Redbirds, who swept the Northsiders back in June at Wrigley, can never be counted out. The Cubs and Cards. Since 1892, this rivalry is for you.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. One of the great rivalries in all of pro sports resumes tonight. It's the first of a 4-game weekend set as the Chicago Cubs host the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to Cubs baseball. It is a scorching hot night with a wind blowing out here at Wrigley Field. Jim Deshaies and Len Casper. Let's get to the injury news first. Some more adversity for the Cubs as they'll be without Pedro Strop for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it looked fairly harmless when it first happened last night, but then he was not able to come off the field under his own power. So Strop is going to have surgery on the knee. He's got a torn meniscus, 4 to 6 weeks. And you know, if he comes back in that time frame, he's going to be just fine. There'll still be a week or so left in the season. He can get a few outings under his belt. Who knows? It may prove to be a good thing. He'll have a fresh arm heading into the postseason. Justin Grimm, who's been on that shuttle lately, recalled from AAA Iowa.
And that should create more opportunities for Grimm and maybe even Joe Smith, recently acquired from the Angels. So let's get to the good stuff. And the Cubs come in with a 12-game lead over the Cardinals, and they're looking for their 10th consecutive win.
Yeah, and the starting pitching has led the way. The starters have been absolutely brilliant over this 9-game winning streak. They're now 30 games above 500. That's a season high. 12 series sweeps. Although the Cardinals have played them tough, the Cardinals came in here in June and swept a 3-game set.
Cardinals right now in position to be a wild card team, but again, 4 games against the first place Cubs. If they have any shot to think about the division, they probably need to win all of them. Mike Matheny, Joe Madden, Cubs Cardinals should be a lot of fun this weekend. We'll get it started next.
Here come the last of the 2016s.
I love this part. Stylish Prius, sporty Camry, fun Corolla, adventurous RAV4. They're all here, but not for long.
Right now, get incredible 0% APR financing on 11 of Toyota's most popular models, like the 2016 Camry, Corolla, RAV4, or Prius during Toyota's annual clearance event.
Come in and get the 2016 Toyota you want before they are gone.
Toyota, let's go places.
It starts with the low Fields price, and then we include all of the Fields amenities at no extra charge.
I'm not overpaying for my vehicles. I'm getting great customer service and great amenities at Fields.
A low price and a whole lot more, like our Fields amenities that include free loaners, free car washes, and our Fields cafes.
It's not about the word free, it's the way they deliver it and what they deliver.
We simply treat people the way we want to be treated. It's a commitment to our customers we made long ago. Fields matters because you matter.
Just bought a 2016 Mini from Bill Jacobs and could not be happier. The service is top-notch.
Honestly, it's the best car buying experience my wife and I ever had.
These are the reviews we get all the time from our customers. As soon as you walk through the door, you'll know this is going to be different. The showroom, the cars, but most importantly, the people. Because at Bill Jacobs Mini in Naperville, it's the cars that bring you in, but the experience that brings you back. Get 0% APR for 72 months on the 2016 Mini Countryman or hardtop 4-door models. Details at BillJacobsMini.com.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Probably the hottest night of the summer so far here in the friendly confines. Big crowd on hand as the Cubs welcome in their biggest rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs 71-41. Cardinals 60-54. Cubs with a 12-game lead in the division. Cardinals tied for the second wild card spot with the Miami Marlins, who are hosting the San Francisco Giants this evening. And left-hander John Lester pitching against the Cardinals for the first time this season. Here is their Southwest starting lineup. He will face Matt Carpenter. Recently spent some time on the DL. He homered last night in their win over the Reds. Stephen Piscotty has been in a slump as of late. Matt Holliday's in left. Brandon Moss in right. Yadier Molina, first time in a while. He was not an all-star, but he's been terrific at the plate here lately. Johnny Peralta last night with his 200th career homer. Jed Jerko plays all the infield spots. He's at second tonight. Greg Garcia and Carlos Martinez will round it out.
Cubs defensively brought to you by the good folks at Arby's. Chris Coughlin gets a start in left tonight. Fowler center, Hayward right. Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo, third short, second first. David Ross is the catcher today because the Alexis Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is the lefty John Lester. 23rd time for John this year, 12-4 with a 2.93 earned run average. As Len mentioned, his first start against the Cardinals this year. Last year he saw him a bunch. 5 times in the regular season plus once in the division series. Pitched to a 2.79 ERA. It was only 1-4 in those ball games.
One correction, the Marlins are off tonight. I was looking at the big board out there, and it's got San Francisco and Miami, but it says no game next to it. Ron Kolpa back at the plate. Chris Conroy at first. The crew chief Jerry Meals at second, and Chicago native Dan Bellino is at third.
Fans with fans on a hot, steamy night. Efficiency very important for the starting pitchers here tonight. You got to get through the early innings. Economically, save some bullets. Pitch as deep into this game as possible, but do not be surprised if you see an early move to the bullpen.
Chris Bryant plays in on the grass at third against Matt Carpenter. He was putting together an MVP caliber season before he got hurt, and he swings away at the first pitch. Probably doesn't happen a ton, right? Patient guy as Fowler makes a catch.
He's among the league leaders in fewest offerings at the first pitch, so he attempted a little ambush there on Big John. Just a smart thing to do every now and then. You get that reputation of always taking that first pitch. Every now and then you got to become unpredictable. But it paid off for Lester. We're talking about the efficiency. Boom, one pitch, one out.
Yeah. Now Piscotty is playing center.
Hey. Good looking pitch on a hot night.
87 degrees, southwest breeze at 9 miles an hour. Here's the 1-0 from Lester. This one lifted in the air out into right. Former Cardinal Jason Hayward makes a late adjustment to his right to make the catch.
This is the type of night, whatever you want to call it, that Wrigley Field has earned its reputation. Hot, wind blowing out, and sometimes leads to some crazy scores. This ballpark, however, has been pretty pitcher friendly all year. For the most part, the wind has blown in. As I was walking up to the booth this afternoon, I noticed a handful of Cardinal players down in front of the dugout. Now we're all looking at the flags and pointing and discussing the wind direction.
Matt Holliday takes a strike 5 out of 9 in his career against John Lester. Nearing some milestones. He's 8 hits away from 2,000, 6 homers shy of 300. And that one bounced in front of the plate. 1-1. Mike Matheny's crew right now in quite a battle for a playoff spot. Much different story last year as they won 100 games.
I believe he did.
And he did. According to Chris Conroy down at first. 1-2.
It's season number 5 for Mike Matheny managing the Cardinals. He's gone to the postseason the previous 4. Enough of a commitment there from Holiday.
These two teams rank 2nd and 3rd in the National League in runs per game. Cubs at 5.04. Cardinals 4.95.
Cardinals slug a little bit better. Cubs better in terms of on base. Biggest difference between these two clubs: starting pitching and defense.
Cubs give up a run less per game than the Cardinals do, as Lester gives up the 2-out single. So Holiday now 6 out of 10 against John. And here's Brandon Moss. Cardinals today put Matt Adams on the disabled list. Left shoulder inflammation. Moss had some DL time with a sprained left ankle. Missed 23 games and came back on August 2nd. He's playing right.
Interesting that Mike Matheny's got him in the middle of the order here tonight against John Lester. Moss has not hit a home run against a left-handed pitcher this year.
Swing and a miss.
I always say that. I kind of wince when I say that, when the big guy like Moss up there swinging it. 2 out of 9 in his career against Lester. He's hit 18 home runs this year, all against right-handed pitching. Batting average against lefties of 200.
Soft liner is over Russell, and in front of Coughlin. Here comes a throw to third, and Holiday beats it. An aggressive maneuver there with 2 outs, but it pays off.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the buzzword with the Cardinals under Mike Matheny. Aggressive, really push things on the bases. They made a lot of outs on the bases this year. This is not really a smart play. Gets away with it. Two outs in the inning. Probably better off dropping anchor at second base.
So John got 2 outs on 3 pitches, right? I think he was just going to cruise through this first, but then the Holiday single, Moss with a base hit, and it's Yadier Molina, who's been on base at least once in each of his last 23 games. Rizzo can't get it. Cardinals lead 1-0. 3 consecutive 2-out hits.
Holidays was sharply hit. Moss with a little flare into shallow left, and now Matheny just punches this ball down the first baseline. A play Anthony's normally going to make. But this time he did not. He just beats that ball into the ground.
It's interesting you misspoke and called him Matheny, but Mike Matheny at one time was a Cardinal catcher. And
oh no, that's Molina's nickname. It's not. It's kind of an insider thing. Only a few of us know it.
Oh, okay.
We call him Matheny.
Good save. Here's Peralta.
Matheny we call Yadier. It's kind of inside deal.
Peralta hit his 200th career homer last night. And lines to the third baseman, Chris Bryant, to end the inning. Cardinals, though, get 3 2-out hits and lead 1-0.
One swing can be the ultimate game changer. And at T-Mobile, we've changed the game by doubling our LTE coverage, so you can stream baseball free without using your data on MLB TV. T-Mobile, that's Major League coverage.
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adeptus for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
It's a golden opportunity to discover what we learn on the track doesn't stay on the track. It just finds more street legal form. For a limited time, get some of the best offers of the year on our complete line of F-Sport performance vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Lease the 2016 IS Turbo with zero due at signing for $379 a month for 36 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
Hey there, how are you today?
Hey there. That's refreshing. Is that on the script they give you?
Pardon?
The corporate friendliness script. It has an acronym on it, like SMILE. Service means I like everyone, or...
No acronym, just normal everyday conversation. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
That feeling you get when you discover a bank built for you, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Dexter Fowler gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Rest of your Cubs Southwest starting lineup after Fowler. It'll be Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, a couple of MVP candidates. Ben Zobrist in the cleanup spot. Addison Russell, big insurance homer last night in the 8th. Jason Hayward in right. Chris Coughlin first start in over a week. He plays left. Ross and Lester 8 and 9, as we usually see when John is on the mound.
Cardinals defensively brought to you by Arby's. As I mentioned, this group has struggled. 83 errors, second most in the National League. Holiday, Piscotty, Moss cover the outfield. Hey, Moss covers the end. Never mind. Peralta, Garcia, Jerko, Carpenter, third to first. Carpenter making his 4th start at first base. Molina, the catcher. And Carlos Martinez, the Lexus starting pitcher here tonight. And he's a good one. 10-7 with a 329.
Where's Mike Ivey when you need him? First pitch strike to Fowler.
Martinez can really light up the radar gun. That one, though, at 90. Kind of goose that one in there.
'59th career start. He leads the Cardinals with 10 wins.
I mean, we're 3 pitches into this, but it looks like he's really trying to be effortless with his delivery here. And at times he'd get a little erratic. Get a little out of sync. Trying to overthrow, so maybe that's the game plan here. Just try to create some movement early, get some ground balls. So fastball, and you know he can get upper 90s. His average fastball this year is right around 96 miles per hour. Has a good changeup, slider, and occasionally a curve.
Called strike 3 on the breaking ball. Fowler didn't like it.
Slider Dexter thought was in, and Copa thought it caught the corner. Martinez has been a road warrior, man. 6-1 with a 2.28 ERA on the road.
Cardinals have the best road record in baseball. They're well over 500. 32-21 on the road, 28-33 at home.
I wonder when the last time the Cardinals had a losing record at home was.
I saw a story that Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak, they talked about changing up the routine a bit at home to try to figure out why they have struggled. The guess here is that it is.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because it is.
It just happens, yeah.
1-2 on Bryant.
Sometimes I think you're better off, if you're the manager, the general manager, kind of disregarding that, because then you can really make it a mental thing of the players.
Rizzo next. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. No argument from Bryant that time. Martinez, he likes to bounce around out there. Very emphatic in his reactions.
Come on back. Two-seamer catches the outside corner. Yeah, he's a high-energy guy.
Last night, Anthony with his 15th game-winning RBI. Tied for the major league lead in that department with Daniel Murphy. Back in April in St. Louis, Rizzo took Martinez way out of Busch Stadium. Cubs 4-2 in St. Louis, 0-3 against the Cardinals here. Missed his spot. It's 2-1.
I figure you're going to have to lean on the lefties to do damage tonight against Martinez. He's really shut down right-handed hitters. Right-handed batters hitting 195 against him. Just 2 home runs. He's done a very nice job keeping the ball in the ballpark. 11 home runs total allowed. High ground ball rate. Just 24 years of age, a 14-game winner last year.
Not taking much time between pitches. And Rizzo trying to give everybody behind third base a souvenir foul ball. Night, day, day, night for this 4-game series. Popped up, Peralta makes the catch, and the Cubs go down 1-2-3 in the first, trailing 1-0.
The For Freedom sales event is on, and our biggest event of the year just got bigger. Just announced 0 for 72 on Ford F-Series, giving you freedom from interest. Plus, specially tagged pickups now get a 1,000 smart bonus. America's best-selling trucks 39 years straight are built Ford tough. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on Ford F-Series. Plus, specially tagged trucks get 1,000 smart bonus cash.
What?
What? The new DQ Royal Blizzard lineup with delicious fudge, marshmallow, or strawberry filling hidden inside. That's what. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
Your home, your auto. They just go together. Combine your home and auto insurance with State Farm. Save time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to your State Farm agent today.
When you come and when you owe what you do, you owe a responsibility to the fans, our fan base, the organization, and to yourself, the respect for this game to come out and grind it out, whether it's hot or whether it's freezing cold. And yes, some guys are having a bad time, and you cannot say woe is me at this level. You cannot do it. Everybody's too good here. Nobody feels sorry for you because everybody's been humbled. Today's game, it's going to happen again. But I know one thing. Starting tomorrow, we're back fresh. Starting tomorrow, we're going to get after it here. And those who don't want to get after it, I will find somebody else who does. Because in Las Vegas, there's a whole clubhouse full of guys who want to sit in this room. And I'll find them. That's all I got to say. I'm done.
The fiery Terry Collins, after his Mets team was shut out today by the Diamondbacks 9-0 to complete a series sweep. The Mets are 10-16 since the All-Star break. And as you see, they're at the 500 mark. 2.5 games behind the Cardinals. And the Marlins. Chris Maloney, the third base coach, just got smoked in the left foot by that screamer off the bat of Jed Jerko. He says, I'm all right.
Well, we need to play a little deeper. TC, I love it, man. He was fired up.
Yeah. Las Vegas is their AAA club.
And Mets lost 12, I think, last night, and then had to come back and play an early day game today. Got thumped. Terry's always been a fiery guy.
You know, for all the talk about the running game against John Lester, it's been really Noah Syndergaard. They ran wild again on him today. 4 stolen bases for the Diamondbacks. Base stealers are 36 out of 40 against Syndergaard this year.
Yeah, it's been an issue in a couple of John's games, but for the most part, they've been able to neutralize the running game.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's his first strikeout. A reminder, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. There's Greg Garcia 0 for his last 17. Aledmys Diaz is on the DL. He's got a broken right thumb.
We just put Matt Adams on the DL. Trevor Rosenthal, and former closer, on the DL.
Michael Wacha. One of the big truths in the Terry Collins rant, and I mean it is 110% true. Nobody feels sorry for you at this level.
No, not in any real meaningful way.
No, I mean,
only oh man, feel bad for you, bro, but they don't really mean it way.
You can say, well, we've been banged up this year, and those are reasons, but managers don't like to use those as excuses.
Yeah, and you know, you got to allow a manager to vent every now and then. They're under so much pressure. So clearly, I guess the thing is he reacting just to a tough stretch of games, or did he see something in his team that justified his response? I was looking at their box score. Obviously, the pitching wasn't good today. They committed 1 error, but I was just looking at the hitters in the lineup, and 4 at-bats, 10 pitches seen, 3. No, it wasn't like they were quote-unquote grinding out at-bats. So maybe that's what got them rankled. Maybe didn't see a whole lot of fight in this club once they got down.
Yeah, the wins and the losses definitely matter, but for most managers, it's not about the results. It's about kind of the vibe and how the manager feels the team played. I'm sure Joe would give you examples of, hey, there have been games we've won 5-0 and I haven't been happy with our effort.
Yeah, well,
we've lost 5-0 and I felt like we gave a great effort.
And I think Joe's not a big believer in clubhouse meetings. He doesn't do them in his home ballpark. Doesn't want to create a bad vibe, as he says.
Martinez strikes out, and the Cardinals go in order in the second after getting 1 in the first.
You hear that? That's the sound of our summer sale firing up its engines, with fares as low as $69 one way. So get ready to take off. Because sale prices as low as these don't happen every day. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Low fares, nothing to hide. That's transparency.
DirecTV is at it again with another so-called deal. With a $60 intro rate that jumps to over $100 after just 3 months, then shoots up to almost $200 after a year. The hits just keep on coming because you're locked into a 2-year contract that can cost up to $3,500. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Switch to an X1 Double Play from Comcast and lock in your rate for 2 full years. Call or go online today.
AC2 Cedar Tone lumber is all #1 grade Southern Yellow Pine grown, harvested, and treated in the USA. It's all pressure treated for ground contact use with a rich cedar tone color. 2x4 8-foot boards are on sale now, $5.99 each. Protect your blacktop with Seal Best. Seal Best 400 Sealer and Filler is polymer modified and provides enhanced UV protection. Plus, it goes on with no harsh odor. Only $16.98. Find this and more during Menards Made in the USA sale.
Save big money at Menards.
There are 15 weekends this summer. Make them count. Find adventures as you find new trails. Own the road by making your own. And if you bring it all, bring it on. Summer's going fast, so there's not a moment to waste. Head to the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now.
Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Cub fans, tickets are still available for next week's 4-game series with the Brewers, which includes a day-night doubleheader. Don't miss any of the action here at Wrigley Field. Visit Cubs.com to get your tickets.
Ben Zobrist will start it for the Cubs. Martinez into his motion. And the fastball misses high and outside. 2 strikeouts and an infield pop-up. And the Cubs first, 2-0. Game 3 of a 10-game homestand. Starting a 4-game series against the Cardinals and then another 4-gamer against a division opponent. Next week, the Brewers come in. 4 games in 3 days.
This might be taking 2 here. Won't need to.
First base runner for the Cubs. Leadoff walk, and here comes Addison Russell. Tied his home run total from his rookie season last year with number 13 in the 8th last night. Nice insurance run.
Cubs just missed 3 or 4 occasions last night, but Russell providing a big insurance run. And so good here in his home ballpark.
PNC upcoming schedule in graphic form. Day game tomorrow. Hopefully we'll stave off the rain that's in the forecast. Matinee Saturday, Sunday night game of the week, and then the makeup doubleheader Tuesday, followed by 2 more against Milwaukee. 1-1 on Russell. That looked like a good pitch, but Martinez couldn't get the call. Cubs have won 9 in a row. They're 19-6 after a 5-15 stretch right before the break. Their last single season 10-game winning streak was a 12-gamer in 2001. One and 2 on Russell. Here it is. It's off the inside corner.
What would Ernie Banks say? 8 was great. 9 was fine. Well, let's get to 10 and do it again.
11 is heaven.
Good take. Yeah, that's a chase slider there for Martinez. Ground ball pitcher. Double play in order here. See if Zobrist runs a Molina for the first time in his career below league average, throwing out would-be base stealers.
Zobrist was not running.
I don't know if Yachty's losing his edge a little bit back there, if the pitchers just haven't been giving him much of a chance. But for his career, he has thrown out 43%. This year, 21%.
Into his dugout before giving Martinez this sign. Looks like a slider's coming. And ball 4.
Yeah, back-to-back walks. Martinez asking Ron Culpa if that pitch was high. Culpa said, yeah, it was. According to our Toyota pitch tracks, it was in the zone. Look at Culpa. He's down on one knee, so he's really, I'm sure in his mind he's setting his eyes at the top of the zone.
So 2 on, nobody out for Jason Hayward, who turned 27 on Tuesday. Inside corner, it's a strike. First year with the Cubs after signing an 8-year free agent contract. Spent last year with St. Louis, hit career best .293. Double play ball. 4-6-3. 25th double play, coaxed by Martinez, leading all National League pitchers.
Yeah, and I'm sure Joe's got that matrix of outcomes. I'm sure he was fearful of that very thing happening with Martinez on the mound and Hayward at the plate. Not only does he hit the ground ball, but sharply hit, and that makes it easy for the Cardinals to turn that double play.
That'll leave it up to Chris Coghlan with a runner at third and 2 outs. All 5 of his home runs this year were hit with the A's. This is Coghlan's first start in 9 days. Zobrist the runner at third. Coghlan late swing and fouled off.
So there's 2 ways to combat that if you're Joe Madden and with Hayward up in that situation. One, ask him to bunt, which probably don't feel really good about doing as you get near the bottom of your batting order. 2, send the base runners. Nobody likes to do that with nobody out for fear of a line drive triple play. So you just kind of hang in there and hope for the best.
Martinez going from the windup with a runner at third. Changeup is hit on the ground to first. Carpenter to the bag unassisted. Cubs come up empty after the 2 leadoff walks.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. I'm attorney Howard Ankin with legendary sportscaster Steve Stone.
And I know the right team knows how to win, like Howard Ankin Law Office.
If you or someone you know needs help with an injury case, I'm here to help. Please give me a call.
Put Howard's number in your phone right now, 312-6 million.
Tomorrow.
eating children!
Your food, we can fight these monsters, is revolting.
Who are you? We the non-perishables.
Sausage Party. Rated.
Whoa, that doesn't look good. No, not you. Ordinary fuels can clog your engine with dirt. It's like lugging this around. It's dragging down your fuel economy. But over time, using new and improved BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean up that dirt, like hundreds of scrubbing brushes. So that means a cleaner engine, which helps you get more miles per tank. I'll be here if you need me. New BP gasoline with Invigorate, our best fuel ever.
This is what precision looks like, helping you see what's hard to see, thanks to Terrain Denali's Side Blind Zone Alert that uses radar to watch your blind spots. So it's true, Mom does have eyes in the back of her head. The new, meticulously crafted 2016 Terrain Denali from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Or get this low-mileage lease on this 2016 Terrain SLE1 for around $199 per month for 24 months. GMC, we are professional grade.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Cubs trailing by 1 as we move to the top of the third. This is your Coors Light game report. Matt Carpenter leading things off here for the Cardinals. Of course, he and Jake Arrieta, former teammates at TCU, had at the All-Star game this year. Of course, Jake Arrieta there as well. He'll get to face him tomorrow afternoon. And he said, guys, they had all kinds of competitions back in college. More competitive off the field than on it. It didn't matter if it was ping pong, bowling, swimming. They were always trying to beat one another. And he'll get a chance to go up against, of course, Arrieta tomorrow. Must-see TV. But the other thing I found really interesting that he said about Jake was that he was more surprised by the success that he wasn't having with Baltimore than when he saw him last year. Of course, his NL Cy Young award-winning year, and he said that's the Jake I always knew he could be. So high praise from a guy who will get to go up against him tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks, Kelly. It's a strike on Carpenter, and in his career, including last year's playoffs, Carpenter 1 for 21 against Arrieta. Just missed. Let's look ahead. Wainwright, Arrieta. Scheduled starters tomorrow. Luke Weaver, his major league debut. Kyle Hendricks on Saturday. Mike Leake, John Lackey in the Sunday night matchup.
That one might take 90 minutes to play. Yeah. Those two guys going.
Air ball into right center. It'll be Hayward. He's right in front of Fowler.
Yeah, the Cardinals calling up Luke Weaver to join the rotation. They just called up the other day Alex Reyes, a top pitching prospect. They're using him out of the bullpen. He can get up over 100 miles per.
Scotty 8 for his last 52. Doing a fly to right in the first inning tonight.
He's been really good against southpaws. 336 batting average, 437 on base, 633 slug against lefties.
Strike. So going into tonight, last turn through the rotation, starting with Lester on Friday in Oakland. The starting staff 5-0 with an 0.96. 4 runs allowed by the Cubs starters over those 5 games. Change up. 2-2.
Yeah, it's been quite the show. 1 through 5, everybody dealing. Jason Hamill coming back and performing the way he did last night after being away from the club on the bereavement list, dealing with family health issues.
We got him on the curveball.
There's Jason. 7 shutout last night. Scotty having trouble with the curve.
With respect to Jason Hamill, and we certainly respect his privacy with the family situation. He was on the bereavement list. But to come back from that situation and do what he did last night was really impressive. That's a pro right there to come back and deal like he did. One and one to Holiday. Started that 2-out rally with a single in the first inning and scored on the Molina hit.
Holiday pull on the infield pretty much straight away in the outfield. Has really good power to the alleys. And those big strong guys, you got to make sure you do your work inside on. Don't let him lean out over the plate.
Two. One hopper to Bryant. Plenty of time, and the inning is over. Back-to-back 1-2-3s. Lester settling in after giving up those 3 straight hits in the first.
$1 window siding and door installation, 102 Pine Street.
Let's go, guys. It's Feldco to the rescue with $1 installation on all windows, siding, and doors. Plus no money down and no interest until 2018. It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year.
That's $1.
$1 installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Hurry, $1 installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco. When I was just a young one, maybe pushing 10, somebody told me no, son, and I decided then I'm gonna dig my style, I'm gonna walk the same, gonna keep on going, no, I don't see no end, with the price I'm showing, you better tell your friends, I'm gonna dig my style, dig my style, dig my style.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Have a look around.
Thank you.
Got me looking so crazy right now, your love's got me looking so crazy right now. Looking so crazy in love, got me looking so crazy in love.
So you like it?
I do. Now is the moment to get the Honda Accord you love. Named a Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record 30 times at the Honda Summer Clearance Event, going on now.
Cub fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC.
David Ross leading off the Cubs third. They do not have a hit off Martinez. Back-to-back walks in the second to start it. Got a double play ball off the bat of Hayward. And inside for ball one. So breaking ball for a strike. Martinez from Puerto Plata, the Dominican Republic, about 3 hours from Santo Domingo. He was a shortstop growing up. Switched to the mound before he signed with Boston. 2009 was when he signed. The contract shortly after that was voided. Served a suspension, then he signed with the Cardinals. There's number 18 in honor of the late Oscar Taveras, his friend and teammate who died in a car crash in the Dominican in October of 2014. I don't think there's any question, JD. The Cardinals missed him late last year. He did not pitch in the postseason against the Cubs. He was shut down in late September with a shoulder strain.
Yeah, he's got the best stuff in their rotation. And likely will be that guy. And you know, Reyes next year could step into the rotation. So they got two big-armed right-handers. This guy draws comparisons to Pedro Martinez. You know, not a real big guy, but loose arm action, great velocity, outstanding changeup.
This 2-2 is hit on the ground to Garcia at short. Easy play. 1 out. This Sunday, August 14th, Cubs battle the Cardinals. It's 7:05, and up to the first 5,000 kids in attendance will receive a Clark hat presented by Velveeta. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
And a big shout out to big Cub fan Matt Leslie, who successfully defended his dissertation today, and from this point forward will be known as Doctor.
Congratulations. John Lester flying to Piscotty. Well, when will it be shortened to just Doc?
Doc, yeah.
You have to go through a period where you're Doctor.
Yeah, and he probably wanted you. If it were me, I would make sure everybody referred to me as Doctor for a while. A Southsider had to be converted to Cub fandom. Fully on board now. Whether he likes it or not.
There's the patient Dexter Fowler, called out on the borderline strike 3 in the first. Second in the National League, and pitches seen per plate appearance, 4.35. Foul. If you're wondering, Jason Worth is number 1. 4.5 pitches per plate appearance. Mike Napoli leads the majors, 4.6. Trout and Fowler 3 and 4. Holiday makes the catch, and the inning is over. No hits allowed by Martinez through 3 as he has a 1-0 lead. Do everything you can to keep cool tonight.
I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious. Some thrive on comedy. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane. I've not seen any two who really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.
I can do this. It's just a sale. A really amazing sale.
You okay, Charlie?
It's my first Hyundai sales event, sir.
You're gonna be fine. After all, we still have America's best warranty. We're still #1 in customer loyalty. The only difference is, with all these great deals, we're just gonna be a little busier.
A little, sir?
Guys, take it back. We're gonna be a lot busier.
Act fast today and make no monthly payments until 2017 on the Elantra or the Sonata.
Hi there, Pat Boyle, inviting you to join us for SportsNet Central. Elshon Jeffrey will give it a go. We'll break down the Whiteouts' performance in the preseason opener. And it's next man up on the north side, and Michael Phelps goes for history once again.
I was kind of young to the point of I didn't understand the entire magnitude of the event and what it meant to so many people.
Inside Look, Mark Pryor, presented by Cadillac, premiering Monday at 7 p.m. on CSN.